Ah, the 90s, grunge music, baggy jeans, and some of the most unforgettable cars ever made. But while some cars defined the decade as icons of style and innovation, others made us question everything about the automotive industry. Today we're diving into the 10 cars that made the 90s embarrassing. From baffling designs to catastrophic engineering failures, these vehicles will make you cringe, laugh, and maybe even say, "What were they thinking?" Buckle up because this is going to be one bumpy ride. Number 10, Pontiac Aztek, 1999 prototype. Let's kick things off with the Pontiac Aztek. Yes, it debuted as a concept car in 1999, and it was just as weird then as the production model became in the 2000s. GM thought this was the future of SUVs, but was it really? The Aztek's bulky, awkward shape and strange angles felt more like an engineering school project gone wrong. And don't even get me started on the color choices. Sure, it tried to be practical with features like a built-in cooler, but all the practicality in the world couldn't save it from being an eyesore. This car was so infamous, it became a meme before memes were even a thing. Number 9, Suzuki X90, 1996. Next up, we have the Suzuki X90, a car that left everyone scratching their heads. Was it an SUV? Was it a sports car? Nope, it was a strange two-seater coupe with T-tops and the soul of a budget off-roader. The X90 was quirky, sure, but it was also wildly impractical. It had all the charm of a toy car and none of the functionality, making it a puzzling addition to Suzuki's lineup. And with only about 7,000 units sold in the US, it's safe to say this experiment didn't work. Number 8, Ford Aspire, 1994 to 1997. The Ford Aspire. Oh boy, where do we even begin? Ford's attempt at a budget subcompact felt like it came straight out of a bargain bin. The Aspire looked more like a jelly bean on wheels than a car. Its underpowered engine and lackluster build quality made it less of a car and more of a means to get from point A to point B very slowly. If you wanted excitement, you wouldn't find it behind the wheel of this snooze mobile. And let's not forget the bare-bones interior that felt like it was made out of recycled cereal boxes. Number 7, Cadillac Catera, 1997 to 2001. Caddy that zigs. That was the tagline for the Cadillac Catera, but what it really should have been was, Caddy that flops. Cadillac aimed to attract younger buyers with this rebadged Opel Omega, but the result was an underwhelming luxury car plagued by mechanical issues. From faulty engines to electrical gremlins, the Catera was less about luxury and more about spending your weekends in the repair shop. It was marketed as the sportier Cadillac, but let's be real, it didn't have the style or performance to back that up. The only thing zigging was its resale value, straight to the bottom. Number 6, Chevrolet Lumina APV, 1990 to 1996. The Chevrolet Lumina APV, also known as the Dustbuster van, takes a well-deserved spot on this list. Its futuristic design was meant to wow families, but instead it scared them off. The Lumina APV's long, sloping windshield and odd proportions made it look less like a minivan and more like a spaceship gone wrong. It might have been ahead of its time, but not in a good way. Throw in poor build quality and underwhelming performance, and you've got a recipe for a minivan that was more bust than must-have. Alright folks, we've hit the halfway mark and things are already looking rough. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, or maybe finding comfort in knowing you didn't own one of these clunkers, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more automotive nostalgia. Now back to the countdown. Number 5, Plymouth Prowler, 1997 to 2002. The Plymouth Prowler was a car that screamed, "Look at me," and oh, we looked, but not for the right reasons. Sure, it had retro hot rod styling that turned heads, but it was all bark and no bite. Powered by a measly V6 engine, the Prowler didn't have the muscle to match its bold looks. It had potential as a classic throwback, but the execution left gearheads everywhere disappointed. Today it's more of a collector's curiosity than a cherished classic. Number 4, Eagle Premier, 1988 to 1992. The Eagle Premier limped into the 90s as a relic of the late 80s, but its poor reputation solidified its place on this list. Despite some early praise for its design, thank you, Giugiaro, it suffered from poor reliability and abysmal sales. It didn't help that the Eagle brand itself was struggling to find an identity in a crowded market. The Premier was forgettable at best and frustrating at worst, making it a low point for Chrysler. Number 3. Geo Metro, 1990 to 1997. The Geo Metro. A car so basic you could call it the bread and water of the 90s. While it was fuel efficient, it lacked everything else. Performance? Non-existent. Comfort? Not a chance. Safety? Let's just say you wouldn't want to be an fender bender. The Metro was a testament to cutting corners in the name of affordability, but it's hard to love a car that feels like it could blow away in a strong gust of wind. Number 2. Fiat Cinquecento, 1991 to 1998. The Fiat Cinquecento may have been small and cute, but it was also a nightmare to own. Fiat's infamous reliability issues were front and center with this tiny hatchback. From electrical problems to rust galore, the Cinquecento was the poster child for why Fiat struggled in markets outside Italy. It might have been perfect for narrow European streets, but elsewhere, it was laughably underpowered and flimsy. Owning one felt more like a chore than a joy. Number 1. Hyundai Scope, 1990 to 1995. And finally, the crown jewel of 90s automotive embarrassment, the Hyundai Scope. This was Hyundai's attempt to break into the sporty car market, but it fell flat on its face. Underpowered, cheaply built, and awkwardly styled, the Scope was the epitome of trying too hard and failing miserably. The sport in this sporty coupe was about as convincing as canned laughter in a sitcom. For many, the Scope was a reminder that early Hyundai cars were more about affordability than quality. And there you have it, 10 cars that made the 90s a decade to forget for some automakers. Whether they were ugly, unreliable, or just plain weird, these vehicles remind us that even in a golden era, there were some major missteps. Which of these cars do you think deserved its spot the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more automotive adventures. Until next time, drive safe, and preferably not in one of these.